Welcome back, everyone, to episode 10 of my Chrono Trigger Longplay. In the previous episode, we made it all the way to the year 65 million BC in search of Dreamstone, which is the material we needed to find in order to repair the Masamune. When we arrived here, we were attacked by a bunch of humanoid creatures called reptites. We fought off some of them, but with the help of a cave woman by the name of Isla, we defeated the rest of them that were attacking us. And then Isla very creepily pinned Crono to a wall to do what I assume was sniff him before introducing herself. We followed her back to her village where we engaged in an evening feast because I guess she was impressed by Crono's physical prowess. And we partied and found out that she actually has Dreamstone, but she didn't want to give it up without a contest. We beat her and earned the right to claim the Dreamstone, but it was stolen. We had to chase after her actual companion from this time, a little dork by the name of Kino, who stole a bunch of our stuff. And we had to basically convince him to give that stuff back. But it turns out he handed a bunch of it over to the reptites. And we had to chase through a wooded area, which is just south of the village here, in order to find and recover the most important of those items that was stolen, the gate key that we need to travel through time. We got it back. Isla said goodbye because she's not coming with us. She's staying here in her time. However, we do have what we need now, the Dreamstone, to go back and get the sword fixed. A couple things I just wanted to go over real quick before we go through this episode today. I did have to do some extensive alterations to the previous episode, and I think I might have noted it in the game itself, or in that episode itself. When I started recording the voice part for Isla, initially what I was going for was something very gruff and caveman-esque. It was a lot of grunting and staccato-ish performance. Unfortunately, when I was doing that, I was really struggling to keep it together because my throat was just killing me while I was doing that. I had probably mentioned it in a couple episodes in Nub's Collection. I had COVID back in late August, early September, and it destroyed my throat for a little while. I did recover eventually, but unfortunately I've been dealing with this kind of long-term tickle in my throat, and I've done my best to edit around it in videos, but you've probably heard me gag a little bit sometimes when I'm talking because, you know, a little flare-up will happen in my throat, and I'll be trying to stifle a cough and not doing a great job of it. In the process of listening back and editing the episode for number 9, I did decide that Isla's performance was not only going to be impossible for me to continue going forward in the series, but also it just didn't really fit the character. And I started considering what was the character built to be like. And honestly, she was built to be overtly feminine, even though she's a cave woman. You're talking about someone who has long, thick, curly blonde hair and a single, very carefully placed strand of animal fur that goes around her breasts and her genital region. Her attacks include kissing your teammates to give them health back, and a charm move where she convinces the enemy to hit other enemies. So they very clearly, you know, made that character to be kind of overtly sexualized. And in my secondary performance of the character, which is what we're going to use going forward, I decided to kind of make her very feminine in the way that it sounded. Now, I did pitch it up a bunch in that episode just to kind of make it a little more feminine than my own already abnormally feminine sounding voice, but I thought it was more appropriate than what I was doing before. Is it a great performance of Isla? Absolutely not. It turns out I'm a dude, so the best I could do sometimes isn't going to sound great, and unfortunately that's just going to be the case for the rest of the series. I don't want to keep reevaluating how I'm doing characters repeatedly, or it's just not going to be consistent. So Isla's performance is going to be the way it is going forward. Everyone else at this point, I think I've got a pretty good idea of how I'm going to do them, including characters that we haven't even seen in the series yet, and a few that we're going to see if I'm playing consistently enough in this episode sometime before we get to the big battle that's coming. And obviously, since we have to go find and take down Magus, we're going to meet some of his lieutenants, and that's who I'm talking about. But I've run on enough. Let's go ahead and get moving with this episode. Not a whole lot else we have to do in this time. We were really just trying to get the gate key back so that we could head into present time and get the Masamune fixed. We don't need to fight him or them. Probably don't need to fight them either, but it's a tricky move getting through here. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, I think you do have to fight them. Let's do... can I hit all of them with Max Cyclone? I might be able to. Let's see. No, I can't. Alright, they got too far apart. I'll tell you what, Rocket Roll will hit everyone, so let's go ahead and do that. One more. Come on, get him out of here. I think this is the only other fight we had to do in this area before we could get to the gate. So we should be able to just head right there. Hey! Learned Ice Tackle. I think what happened there was Marley and Robo had the necessary single techs learned for each character. They just have to fight together one time in order to learn the dual tech that would be available with those single techs. You can only learn how to do those if you have the necessary people who have the right techs fight one time. So, for example, if I put Luca and Robo together, who haven't fought since like 4 episodes ago, they would probably learn at least one, maybe even 2 dual techs the first fight that we got in with them in the party together. Yes, let's jump. I love the idea that there are portals that not only pop up in weird places, but also require you to do some strange stuff in order to get into them. That was just a brilliant little touch. Like the Medina Village portal that's inside of someone's pantry. You have to basically burst out of the cupboard in order to get out. We're back! What up, kids? Heal up. Alright, so, the story's going to require us to have Luca help with the restoration of the Masamune. You can add her to the party. However, if you just go back to the time that you need to in order to get Melchior to start working on the sword, she'll just show up. So if you want all 4 people to be there for the repair of the sword, you could just go with the current party. You don't have to swap in Luca right away. We will probably put her in the party, though. You found a Dreamstone. I'd forgotten how beautiful they are. You'll need to find someone that can process that mineral. You'll probably find him in Medina, a village near the Mystic Mountains. Weird how he knows exactly where to find another incredibly gifted old man. Really makes you think. One thing I want to do... I think we're going to go and see if we can't beat Specchio. It's not required at any point in the story to actually beat him up. It is required for characters who can learn magic to actually go see him. That way they can actually start learning those abilities. But I do want to try to beat him at least once while he's at his lower level. Once they actually, that your party starts leveling up, he changes form in order to become more challenging. I believe every time you beat his new form, you get a special gift package from him, including some tabs and ethers, just as a congratulations for beating a very tough boss. I can save state, but I don't think you have to reload if you lose this fight. We'll give it a shot. I'm not super convinced we'll beat him, but he is in his lowest form still, so maybe. Hi! Looking for some practice? All right! I haven't done that part in like a month. I can't believe I still remember how to do it. Of course, I did hear the episode back while I was doing the editing, but I mean, that was a couple of weeks ago as well. I tend to do these long play episodes in bunches so that I can take a little bit of time off to do some other projects. Let's do napalm just to see what it does. All she really has is ice. This may not go well. If he keeps hitting Luca, we may lose just because he's going to wipe out our party members individually. Oh, no, all right. Can we do an aura whirl? That'll help. All right, there we go. Aura whirl. And then napalm did pretty good, I think. I'll do it again, just in case. That may be the move there, is just have Luca do the fighting, Crono and Marley heal. It did okay. The one that's not going to do as well as you would like it to, if you try to do, oh nice. If you try to do like an ice sword or a fire sword, I don't think it actually does much of anything, because you're really meant to use your newly acquired magic abilities against him to beat him in a fight. So we could try it, but I don't think this is gonna help. We'll give it one shot, and then if it doesn't do anything great, we'll go back to what the current strategy is, which is one fighter and then two. Yeah, it did okay. Hey, we won! Sweet! It's not a guarantee. His fight can be very difficult.
That was most embarrassing. How rough. Don't make a habit of this. Yeah, this is for you.
There's your special gift. Magic tab, 5 ethers. I think it changes depending on when you come back here.
I am the master of war. Whew. Sometimes I can't scare myself.
I don't think if you beat him a second time in his current form, you get anything out of it. I think he just says, hey, you guys are too much, and then you go back to whatever you were working on. All right, so like I said, we're going to put Robo back in the party. All right, Robo, back in. And we'll just go ahead and head straight on to the next area. What I may end up doing, and we have to actually go through a time gate in order to get back to where we need to storyline-wise. When we come back to the end of time, after fixing the sword, we'll go ahead and swap Luca in for Robo. And then once we do what we need to do, which is go convince Frog that he's the hero that he always should have been, and to join us in our fight against Magus, we're going to swap out Marley for Frog. Which one was it? Is it this one? Sure is. All right. Heading back. Bing, bing, bing. There's going to be a lot of voice changes in this one. A lot of characters that we've ran into up to this point in the game that we have to interact with in order to get everything done. Unfortunately, if you eat the cake off the table here to get your health back, it does not come back. You get one shot at that delicious strawberry shortcake, and once it's gone forever. Actually, I think if I restarted the game, it would come back, but you get what I'm saying. This isn't Doctor Strange. You can't use the time stone to make the food come back. All right, let's go talk to Melchior, who I think we were doing as bad Liam Neeson at some point, so we'll have some fun with that one. And then I decided I was supposed to be, excuse me, or we haven't found that out yet. Excuse me, Old Man is supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know what? I'm just going to bleep all of what I just said. Old Man in End of Time is supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right, let's talk to Melchior here. You found some Dreamstone? Then I'll repair the Masamune. How on earth did you get the Masamune and the Dreamstone? No, don't tell me. I don't think my heart could take it. It'll take a while to fix this. Oh man, I guess Luca only comes in if... That's weird. I thought Luca was supposed to help. That's fine.
I shall help, also.
Not a big deal. It's not like this is story critical that Luca is involved in the repair of the sword. But you can't interact with everyone here.
These repairs seem quite difficult.
Don't interrupt me while I'm conducting research. To repair the Masamune, we must process the Dreamstone and activate the sword. You work on the Dreamstone, and I'll fix the sword. Or work on the sword, whatever.
Understood. First, the tools.
To energize this sword, we must first rejuvenate the broken sword. Alright, it's done. Now, bring me the Dreamstone.
Understood.
He said bring the Dreamstone, not your delicious cup of juice. Alright, let's get started. Wing wang, wing wang. Got it! They're mashing the stone into the blade for some reason. It's not the worst thing in the world to have Robo involved in more of the story, because honestly, it's very much a Crono, Luca, and Marley-centric story to begin with, since they're the first three characters of the game, and they all come from the same time. A lot of it tends to revolve around them, and Frog and Robo, and eventually Isla when she joins the party, kind of fall to the periphery unless one of their own plot branches kind of becomes involved in what you're doing. So I don't mind having him here for this. Sorry to keep you waiting. Swing! Take a good look. This is the Masamune. Awesome! What a weapon! Well, I think that's everything. Okay, Crono, let's take the Masamune to Frog. I don't think he sells anything, but we can certainly take a look. This weapon represents considerable power. Your actions may either save or destroy life. Wield your sword with full knowledge of the consequences. Would you like to buy something? Yeah, sure, we'll check. Heard some sad news the other day. Apparently, at the end of either this year or next year, Liam Neeson's not going to be doing action films anymore. I get it. He's getting older. He doesn't want to keep doing that stuff forever, but, you know, it's still sad. It was a weird... I would say it's a career twist, but, you know, I think he's always kind of been involved in action films. Honestly, I always think of him as the guy from Schindler's List. So that's why, to me, it was like a twist that he became an action star. He really kind of started that way. Yeah, I didn't say anything that we needed. Alright, anyway. And let's go ahead and head out. And go ahead and head back to these poor, kind mystics' house so that we can walk into their closet again. It's so cool of them to just let me do this over and over. Did I go to the right house? I sure did. Alright. Sorry, guys. Promise we won't do this a bunch. Probably last time for a while. For a while. We will be back here eventually. There's a version of you teleporting here that has all three of you, the party members, falling kind of like into the same spot at once. And I always thought they should have done like an animation where accidentally the three of you collapse on top of each other and just kind of make a big, painful mess. All right. Let's get Luca back in the party. She's going to be involved in the upcoming proceedings of this episode. I don't know if we're going to get all the way to Magus at the end of this episode. It would probably be a very long episode if we do that. So I'm kind of thinking what we'll end up doing is we'll get maybe to like a good halfway spot in the area we got to go, and then we'll call it an episode and pick up the big fight at the end of it in the next one. All right, let's talk to Old Man.
What, Lester? The Masamune, correct? A person in the Middle Ages wants to take down Magus with it. Oh, yeah, we know that, dude. We know. We know. We got it.
I gotta remember which portal it is.
You?
Nope. That would get us in trouble. No, because I don't think the guards are there anymore. Truce Canyon. There we go. Unfortunately, I don't think there is another portal in 600 AD. You have to go to the same one every time. That only changes late in the game when you find another way to travel through time. We'll put it that way. All right, let's get to it. Yes, we're going to fight again. I think if you find a certain spot at the top of the bridge, you can actually avoid some of these fights, but I'm not that worried about it. Plus, the enemies changed. They're a little bit more tough than they used to be. A little bit. Not much. And Antipode? No? Oh, they already knew it. Antipode 2 probably a long way off. I think both of them have to know their second level ice and fire spells before we can learn that one. And those are probably a long ways off at this point. Alright, we don't need to go to the castle. If we did, we'd probably be thanked for our efforts in pushing back the mystics at Xenon Bridge. We'll go back there just in case. I don't think there's any change in the dialogue. And it's easy enough to get through here without getting in a fight, which means I'll probably screw up somehow and get in a fight. Get a free bush, or get a free shelter, rather, in the bush. Yeah, get a free bush. Just rip it out of the ground, take it with you.
It's a shrubbery! Duh.
I would imagine the king is still in bed, and the queen is still next to him. And the chancellor's not going to say anything new. Yeah, nothing new. Sir Crono, the legendary hero, has finally appeared. He just arrived a moment ago to meet the king. No, that would have been like 3 or 4 days ago, so you need to update your dialogue, dude. Now let's go see if anything's changed. I don't think it has. They were probably erring on this assumption, or the side of an assumption, that you would never have come back here until another story beat took place, so why would they need to update the dialogue? Yeah, see, this is all nonsense that we already knew about. Cyrus did not send the boy.
Oh, Crono, I've let down my kingdom. Since we cannot locate Cyrus, our sole hope rests on the boy who has the hero medal. He searches the southern continent for the sword that can defeat Magus.
Well, we already have the sword, dude. And that legendary hero was not the legendary hero. It's interesting that they assumed that just some kid who happens to have a medal that Frog himself had is the legendary hero. No one assumed that Frog, who had the medal, was the legendary hero. They just jumped to the conclusion that it must be this stupid kid wearing a scarf over his face. It's gotta be him, right? Alright, go get another free shelter, and then we'll head on to Frog's little mud pit. Don't know what else to call it. Little cubby. Little hidey hole.
This way, Mr. Bubbles.
Better believe we're going to have a Bioshock Longplay sometime in the future. How long in the future? I don't know. We'll get to it eventually. That first game, just beautiful up until the big twist, and then maybe the gameplay didn't really hold up that much longer after that, but, you know, up to that point, it was great. Don't have to do anything else, just go straight to Frog and give him the good news! Let's see if we can catch that new! Go, 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 go! Make it, make it, make it! Catch him! No, I couldn't find him. I think, like we discussed the first time we saw him here, you have to get in a fight while he's on screen, and then I think you can actually take him on. It's very dangerous to do so, but you can do it. 'Tis thee again. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this accent so bad. We'll do the best we can. This sword, 'tis the Masamune. I must ponder this turn of events. Remaineth here the night. And now we get to learn a little bit about Frog. We really hadn't learned much about. We just know that he was the Queen's protector up to this point. Cyrus, are you leaving?
Yes, it's time we took back the medal from the Frog King, and I'd like to see that mythical sword for myself. Oh, but Cyrus, the kingdom needs you. And Lean and I need you. You must return to us. As long as there is life in these bones, I shall return. By your leave.
Great name, Cyrus. One of the Achaemenid Persian emperors. In fact, I think he was the first major one. Sir Cyrus! We, the Knights of the Square Table. You're gonna have guys sitting at the corners. The whole point of the round table was they were all equal. At the square table, the guys sitting at the corners are gonna stick out. We, the Knights of the Square Table, wish you a safe journey.
Listen well, my friends. I now entrust the safety of the kingdom to you.
And then down here by the door...
Pardon the delay. Shall we be off?
Glenn, you be careful too.
Be of sound health, your majesty.
As if the choice of accent there wasn't a dead giveaway. Glenn is Frog. Oh, look at that sword. He basically lit the blade on fire. And I love that they went through the effort of, like, making an entire fight that's, like, you know, an actual, like, character fight for the Cyrus character.
So, you want the badge of courage, dear Knight of the Kingdom? Well, come and take it if you can. Gribbit.
Prepare yourself, Pollywog. In guard! Nirvana strike!
Wow! How dare you pick on a helpless amphibian! Filthy metal. I won't forget this.
See ya.
Ah! Beware, Glenn! Cyrus! The sword! The Masamune!
And, is that Magus?
Is that the best you can do? Without your sword, you're nothing.
Ah! You haven't beaten me yet! Cyrus, I'm a goner. Glenn, escape while I keep them at bay. But... if you stay, they'll get us both. Go on, Glenn.
You'd better worry more about yourself, Cyrus.
Come on, Glenn. Go!
Magus is a little work in progress. I had an idea in my mind of how it was going to sound, and I don't know if it's going to sound the same. Ah! Oh, sorry, bro. Cyrus!
Run, Glenn. The Queen. Take care of Lean.
Cyrus! Cyrus! Now, why did his body catch on fire?
What's the matter? Aren't you going to try your luck?
Ah!
Cat got your tongue, kid. How about it, Magus? Can we give him a more fitting form? All right, why not? There's always time for a little fun.
I don't know what to do here. Oh! Ah! Ah! See ya.
You spineless wimp.
"10 years hath passed. Can I do it? I've changed so much. Alas, poor Cyrus." "Awaketh, Crono." "Though we may fail, let us go to Magus's lair. Thou knowest his power?"
Nothing can beat science.
"We won't be beaten by a bad guy." All right, well, let's go and put the party together. Sorry, Marley, you had your fun in prehistoric times. You're sitting on the sidelines this time, so we can put Luca in the party. I don't know if there's a specific elemental weakness we need to exploit, but I do think fire is pretty crucial for one... Well, I might be thinking of a different part of the game, but Luca's going in the party, basically. We want at least one magic user, and she's more potent than Marley is at this point. She has more offensive options, at least. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Oh! Can't forget. The whole point of this was to give him his weapon. We may not be able to have him equip it just yet. There might be a story. Yeah, there's a story conceit that has to happen before he can do it. But, in the meantime, we can give him some goods. Let's swap out the rock helm for... oh, we have an extra gold suit. And speed belt, not a big deal. Frog's accessory and weapon are going to be basically predetermined. He can't use either yet, but... Oh, yeah, he can. He can put on the hero medal, and it is an exclusive accessory just for Frog, because what it does is it ups the critical hit rate for the Masamune. So, when he does physical attacks, he has a much, much, much higher chance of doing a critical hit with it. It's like 50% of the time he does criticals. So, if that wasn't enough to tip you off, you really should use Frog as a physical fighter and not a magic user, even though he does have the ability to use magic. Let's go ahead and give him the rock helm and a gold suit. And she can get... Oh, wait a minute. Do you have another gold helm? We sure do. Let's go ahead and take that off real quick. Iron helm. Give Luca it if she can wear it. She can't. Damn. And... Put the Titan vest on you. Give her... She can't. Oh, yeah, she can. Okay, there we go. think he can wear anything else. It's better. And, you know, you get to this part and you're kind of nitpicking over the equipment available to you. We're gonna give her the magic scarf. Nope, magic scarf. Those are fine. We just need to get another gold suit for him. There we go. Gold helm. Yes. Yes. That's the best she can do at this point. And we're gonna swap out that for a silver stud, so she does, she's gonna be our magic user for the upcoming fights. So, no reason to give her anything offensive in the sight scope. While it's really nice, we don't need it. We just don't. Alright, and again, we have to go through another story-specific cutscene in order to get Frog to start using his weapon, the Masamune. I just love that there is one, like, story-critical, all-important weapon that has to be, you know, obtained in order to carry out the main story, and it doesn't go to the main character. It goes to a side character. I think that was a brilliant touch on their part. They noticed that, you know, if it was all about Crono and Marley and Luca's adventure, why would you ever play any of the other characters? I think that was absolutely the right call, just making it so that one other character gets something so critical to the storyline that they have cutscenes and, like, an entire main mission quest that you have to go through in order to get it. And then they give it to that other character, that side character. And also, Frog's the best. He's just the best. How many other characters in the game are wearing a cape besides him? Bad guys. Not there. Where is it? Is it here? I think it's here. Yep, here we go. Oh! Before we go any further into the story that we gotta do here, we'll let this take place and then we'll run back and do what we gotta do. I don't want to miss something important. We gotta do this first. Ah! He's being picked on by, what is that, quadruplets? Hey, you! Only, you know, pitched up a little bit because it's a younger version of Cyrus. It's Cyrus! Run for your lives! Why did one of them sound like a full-grown adult? I don't know. Thanks, Cyrus!
Glenn, there are times when people simply have to grit their teeth.
But it hurts when I get hit.
You're a marshmallow, Glenn.
And there's Cyrus, staring off wistfully into the beautiful sun that's always in the exact same spot on this bridge. I don't know why he's so impressed by it right now.
Hey, Glenn, I'm thinking about becoming a knight.
I knew you were going to enlist. You'll make a great warrior.
Why don't you join too?
I don't think I'd make the cut.
But why? You're better with a sword than I am.
But whatever. He's basically saying Glenn's the better of the two as a fighter. I don't know. I think I'd really lose it if I had to hurt someone. The reluctant hero. They know where they're going with this character, you know? Oh. Oh! We gotta live through this again. Ah! Oh. Poor Froggy. as if destined to be in his possession at some point in the future. It settles right next to him.
The medal. The hero's medal.
Handeth over the Masamune. Get it? My name is Glenn, Cyrus's hopes and dreams, and now the Masamune. Forthwith I shall slay Magus and restore honor. Ooh, and a cutscene. I don't know why, but the way he held that sword, the first thing that popped in my head was, well, excuse me, princess. Not just any sword. Get it? He's so badass, he just cut a mountain in half. Get it, frog! And now we get to see it again, but in 16-bit pixels. Oh, that sound effect. Oh, just mwah, chef's kiss. Yes, it does go a little bit longer because it's loading assets. Whatever. And then, gotta strike a pose, frog. Shing! Aw, man, I might have screwed. I might have screwed up here. If we can't leave. Let me see if I can leave. I can. All right. We don't want to do this yet. I know, it seems schizophrenic. We just got into an incredible portion of storyline, saw something really cool, and now we're going to leave. But we really, really want to go back to the end of time right now with Frog. The reason for that is you take him to meet Specchio, and Specchio tells him that he can basically use water magic. He may not be able to do that unless you talk to Specchio first. That's kind of the story conceit is some characters have abilities that involve the use of magic, but they only learn how to use them if they speak to Specchio. That's why they tell you in the game, talk to Specchio whenever you get a new party member. And yes, it is a little bit obnoxious that you have to keep going back and forth between areas to get this done, but, you know, it's a video game. They're not perfect. I don't think there is a perfect video game. All right. Let's get back in here. This is the first time Frog has gone into a portal, so he should be, like, melting down right now. His brain is just, like, oozing out of the ear hole on the side of his head. If they have those. The frogs have ear holes. Bloop, bloop, bloop. No, we're not. Don't leave yet. You just got here. And I think he already had this sword equipped, but we'll double check. Yep, there we go. Also, you can tell big difference in the damage potential between his sword and what Crono is using right now, so. Did we potentially miss out on some equipment by not purchasing items in 65 million BC. Maybe, but it would have involved a lot of grinding to fight enemies for single items when we can get them much, much, much faster later when we can actually do the hunting ground. So I'm not too worried about that.
What a weird fellow. Being a frog, let's give him water. Ipso facto, minimo, magico.
Of course, it's hidden by a door. Now we can learn how to use magic. That was why we came back. No, we're not going to fight this time. All right. Got what we needed to do here done. We'll heal everyone up one more time. Now we can go to Magus's castle. Come on. Let me enter the portal! These portals are so finicky, it's so hard to tell where you're supposed to stand. Every time I come back to this area, though, I see all the, like, grid lines on the ground here, and it just drives me nuts. Like, ugh, they could have done a better job on that. Roar. Roar. Someone learned something. Sword stream? I think that's what they said it was. That's something between Crono and Frog. So there you go. We already learned something new with him. And I think he automatically gained his first elemental spell, Water, by just going into that conversation. So yeah, there you go. Water. And because he knows that spell, he basically can use it in combination with Crono to create a water stream that Crono jumps into and comes sliding down it to cut an enemy. Whatever. They come up with some really weird ideas for dual text because they wanted to make sure that the elements were used as much as possible, including strange stuff like that. The idea that there is a character that uses water and one that uses ice as their elemental abilities, also very strange, but, you know, they had some cool moves between Marley and Frog as well in this game, which we will eventually, you know, build towards, but I like this trio here at this point in the game. I think Luca just kind of fits that part of the story more. She had more of a an actual dialogue and interaction with Frog than Marley ever did, so let's go ahead and get into Magus's cave and castle. His thing. And yes, there is a bat that is very suspiciously following us around in here that disappears whenever we get into a fight. That's odd. I love the bug eyes on all the rats in this game. They all look like they're just perpetually stunned by whatever's going on around them. They may need to be hit with a little bit of magic. So let's see what we can do to get rid of them. Alright, Luca. There we go. Dead. And hey, look at this. Sealed by a mysterious force. Another one of these. Rawr. Just, look at those eyes. Look at the eyes on that rat. Oh! What can we do that'll hit him and the bats? Probably nothing. I think Sword Stream is a vertical attack, so if you use it, it cuts straight down on the screen and hits anyone that Crono makes contact with when he does it. But we'll save that and go ahead and just do a physical attack with him and Frog on the bats, and then use Luca to burn the rat. Good to go. Ah, more rats! There's a lot of rats. Follow the rats. Alright. Come on, let me do something. Let's see what we got that I can hit a whole bunch of them with. Fire whirl? Oh yeah, there you go. That's 4 of them, and then I can use water to hit the last one there. Plus, it'll give us a chance to see a move that we haven't actually used yet. There we go. Ah, more of them. Do what we did before, fight the bats with physicals, and then do a napalm to take out both the rats. Good to go. Alright. Let's do it! Go up the final set of stairs to a dead body. A note written in blood. The juggler in Magus's castle strengthens his guard when attacked. Beware. I think what they mean by that is, since his name is the juggler, it means obviously he's balancing multiple things like juggling. If you hit him with physical attacks, his defense against physical attacks goes up. If you hit him with magic, he's weak to that. If you have already engaged his physical defense, and vice versa. If you hit him once with magic, he ups his magic defense, so a physical attack will harm him. Basically, what they're trying to tell you is, don't go into this area expecting to use one type of attack and not another. You should alternate. You should be able to do magic and physical attacks, and thus you should have a very mixed party. So, if you already have to have Frog in the party, and Crono can't be switched out, your third party member should be a magic user, and that is absolutely not Robo. You could try, but you're probably going to have a harder time getting through this area than if you would if you were using a pure magic user like Luca or Marley. Why am I talking so much right now? Because we're probably going to stop the episode here. It's 53 minutes. It's a little bit on the short side. This was a very plot and dialogue heavy episode, and I kind of expected that to be the case. I didn't know if we were going to get very far, if anywhere, inside of the castle, but I think this is a perfect stopping point because we have a big spooky entrance when we go into the castle here, and we're going to hold off on that. We're going to try to do as much of the castle in one shot as possible in the next episode. Big things happen in the next episode, or we get a lot of plot advancement, and then, you know, some other shenanigans that are going to take place that I don't want to spoil here. But just to summarize what we did in this episode, we took the Dreamstone that we had found in 65 million BC back to 1000 AD, so that Melchior, the only person that we know of that could fix the Masamune, could use it, restore the Masamune, take that weapon, give it to the actual legendary hero of 600 AD, who was not the little boy, it was Frog the whole time. And then we got to see some, you know, backstory about the character of Frog, who was once known as Glenn, and his friend, and I would argue he was the squire to Cyrus as a knight, and see how, you know, they went on a big journey to not only find the hero's medal, but also the Masamune. Why was Magus and Ozzy both up there at the same time near the sword? I don't know. Maybe they were protecting it from a legendary hero. It could be. I don't know if they had advanced the story to the point where they explained that Magus was the big bad that, you know, Cyrus was going to face. They didn't really say that there. But in the course of trying to get the sword, Cyrus died, and Glenn was turned into a frog, hence the name Frog. And then we gave him the hero's medal and the sword. He took control of the Masamune blade, and at a big, dramatic performance of the power of the blade, he basically cut a mountain in half, revealing the path forward to the island where Magus's castle is, where we need to go and defeat him so that he won't be able to summon Lavos, who will destroy the end of the world. Will we be successful in doing that? We'll find out in the next episode. That's going to do it for episode 10 of my Chrono Trigger extended look / complete playthrough. As always, I do appreciate each of you watching, and I will see you next time.